real.
Hey YouTube, it's your girl DrkNlvely, and today I will be bringing you a DIY on how to make this most comfortable dress ever. Let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to show you the best way I can how I came up with this pattern. Okay, so basically this is the fold of the fabric. Okay, the center of the garment is on the fold of the fabric. Okay, so basically I took a spaghetti strap and I kind of laid it at an angle. Okay, so basically the spaghetti straps are close enough to the top edge of there. So basically what I did, I measured from the center out. I measured, we'll say 21 inches from the center, right? And I marked that. If you want to be very technical, you could start from the top and mark all the way down to the bottom. Draw a line from the top all the way down to the bottom, right? So then I start at the top edge of the armpit and I measured 18 inches. And wherever that line crosses that line, it's 21 inches from the center, that is going to be your meeting point. Okay, so I drew a line from there and down. Basically, it's like 105 or 8 degrees. I can't remember. I tried to find the acute angles and everything for y'all to try and explain this. Okay, so basically the top is just, it's just a spaghetti strap. That's all that is. So I kind of just drew however you want the style to be at the top. You can do a halter top, you can do a spaghetti strap and make your own straps, whichever. If you have any questions, just leave them down in the comments and I will help you out the best way I can. Okay, now I'm going to cut out my pattern and I'm going to add seam allowance. Okay. So basically, I folded my fabric hot dog style straight off the bolt, and then I folded hot dog style. So hamburger style, then hot dog style. Sorry, I didn't have enough for the flow and the drapage that I wanted, so I had to add this color blocking at the bottom, which is some black fabric, which once again is folded hamburger style, then hot dog style, and I just laid it up underneath or continue, so it could be one continuous piece of fabric. And I measured down on myself from the top of my boob all the way down to the floor, and it was 53 inches. I am 5'7", okay, with no heels or no nothing. So basically I'm just going to, mark that and cut that. So I'm acting like these two pieces of fabric are one, and you will connect them. I will show you. I do that. I'm pretty sure you know how, but So basically I'm going to cut out the garment now. Now you're going to set that aside because that piece you just cut off at an angle, that's going to be used for the bias tape. I lost the footage of the bias tape that I actually did, so I will leave links down in the description of some cool links to how to make continuous, off-top continuous bias tape. I was like, whoa, this is something new. I've showed you how to make pockets before, but I'm just going through the motions with this whole dress. Okay, I'm just going through the motions and showing you how I basically come up. I have a hand pocket template, but I didn't have it at that moment, so I just kind of, made up a new one. And I'm basically using the corner, that angle right there, that's where I'm using, but I wouldn't put it there anymore. I would place it here. After I made the garment, I would definitely change the position of the pockets. So I don't know what I was smoking at this moment, but this is supposed to be the right side of the fabric, and you're going to take the right side of the black fabric. This black fabric didn't really have a wrong and the right side, so I just took the right sides and I basically connected them and sewed them together, and I top stitched it so it could lay flat. Attaching the pockets, you always want to start your seam with a back stitch so you can lock that stitch in. You also want to end with a back stitch. And then you're going to fold that over and you're going to top stitch that as well so it could lay nice and flat. Once again, check the description box on how to make your bias tape. Basically, you cut your fabric on the bias. Woven fabric, you cut on the bias so it has stretch. And I hardly use pins, and on this is my first time making my own bias tape and using it. So yeah, you have to, I never use pins, but I use pins for this one. And there's certain things I would go back and change, most definitely, because I did the front cleavage part one way and then I did the underarms a separate way, and I like the way I did it like old school double fold bias tape. Always want to start your seams with a back stitch and end them with a back stitch. I think my bias tape was 1.25 inches. And you basically want to snip those curved edges so when you flip that bias tape over, it lays flat and it doesn't pucker. 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 Sorry. So then you're going to flip that over and you're going to top stitch. I could have did a better job of doing that, but I didn't. So now it's time to construct this dress, and you're basically going to do right sides touching, okay? And you're going to sew. You're going to make sure everything aligns, okay? You're going to make sure your pockets align. Make sure off top your pockets align. You want to make sure you do that. Okay, and you want to sew up underneath the armpit, down to the pocket, around the pocket, and then down the side of the whole dress, okay? And then after that, I went ahead and then I added the bias tape for my underarms. And then I hemmed the bottom with my serger, which gave it a really professional finish. And here is the finished product. I love this. I'm 5'7", I weigh like 170. This is huge on me. It's very flowy, so I feel like you could make this for, you could use kind of like that same measurement. You would just lap that out a little bit more if you're bigger. I did 21 inches. You would want to do probably like 25, 26, 27, 28, depending on whatever you need, okay? And you would also want to change the give of the underarms and the boobs depending on, you know, the girls. But honestly, I love this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.